we're going to jump right in on Stanley Cup playoff talk because we got our guest jumping in here right off the hop. Zack Phillips coming back. And Zack, I don't know, man. This is do you feel
open mic. Just go ahead.
This is your therapy couch. Go.
Okay, well, you guys invited me, and this was a couple days ago, and I was excited to come back. And then as it got closer and closer, I was less and less excited to see Z's face as we have to talk about this and what's going on. So that was the starter. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna tell these guys I'm sick, I'm under the weather, I don't know if I can make it today. But no, I'm here to face the music. I'm here to talk about it.
Do you even need to face the music though, man? Like, it's 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah, the thing though is where it's like a weird feeling in Leafs Nation is not the fact that it is 2-2, it's the way they lost that game last night. Like
that's what stood out. Yeah.
That was prototypical, like Leafs playoff. Marner, Matthews don't get to the dirty areas, don't play the physical game, and it was like, well, you didn't score goals, your goalie was unreal, your defense was good, and you lost 2-0. And it's like, well, you weren't that far out, so you probably shouldn't overreact, and it's 2-2, but like, oh, it felt sickening, boys, to lose that game. Like, I have my head in my hands watching. And my roommate, my girlfriend, they're like, it's like one goal. Like, you're only down one. They're only down 1-0. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is deja vu right now.
It was like game 4 in particular to me was just like Florida put on a fucking 60-minute clinic of why they suck to play against, especially in the playoffs. Like all 4 forward lines have a job. They do unbelievably well. Somehow they make every fucking defenseman come in and skate like 20 miles an hour faster, hit harder. Like fucking they have Kulikov out there flying around them like Jesus Christ. And then goalie Bob was just dialed. I mean, I think even with like the lack of offense from Toronto, they still had like, I think they had like 2 shorthanded, like 2-on-1s breakaways and Bob just shutting the door. But like game 4 was the one where it just felt like, like, and it was honestly less to do with Toronto. I felt like it was just so much more about Florida, especially with those guys who were like missed a ton of time before the playoffs. They're like all fucking 4 forward lines are clicking right now. Like that Marchand, Luosterainen, and Lundell line is now their like most used line. And like they can just do everything. Now the points are coming for them too. But Florida, I just don't get how they keep fucking doing this. They make like on paper, you look at them, and they're like, that guy's like 39 years old. And all of a sudden he's like best shape of his life. Ekblad's fucking roided out of his mind. He actually kind of looks like shit. But yeah, I just don't know how they fucking do this. Every year, last 3-4 years.
Man, you know what the most like insane part of this was to be expected, but is driving Leafs fans up a wall right now. Brad Marchand was like the Florida Panthers' best player basically through 4 games here right now. And it's like we finally have a way to escape this guy. The Bruins finally don't make the playoffs when we do. So there's no possible chance of a collision course. We get Brandon Carlo, like you add these people, and it's like Brad Marchand goes to Florida. Of course, you're going to have to run through these guys. Not only is he just on the team, but he was honestly, I think in games 1 and 2, probably their best player. Scores the OT winner in game 3. I think at that point, like you started to see the rest of the guys picking up and catching up to the pace that he was on. And then, but it's like you said, like using the usage of that line, the situations Paul Maurice is putting them out there in. And the one thing too that happened in the last game, and like Z, to your point, where it's like more so Florida's side, I think that's what's kind of scary to Leafs fans here, though, being like, you gave them the opportunity to wake up to let it get to 2-2. Where like you had control, and even in game 3, like they played really, really well. It went to OT, but it was like you could tell Florida was just slightly off, and then it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Game 4 was like it clicked on all cylinders for them. They found everything going at the same time. And like that's the thing that's scary, was just like that was the one where they were 100% dialed, and you're sitting here just going like, we couldn't have just we couldn't have just like gotten the third win and been going back 3-1 or had a chance to go up 4-0 in that game last night. Like that's the one where it's like, man, we let them get in it. And goalie Bob too, like he hadn't been playing his best hockey. Well, that game last night was dialed in, and now all of a sudden you're going, is he going to be able to just build off of this?
Ace here. Are you more worried about Bob's performance now or more happy about Woll's performance?
This has been a script with Toronto in the past, though, dude. Like those losses specifically, it happens the same way every time. Where it's like, oh, good, we got the fucking goalie to stand on his head for 60 fucking minutes, but we couldn't score one goddamn goal. Like it happens. I feel like that's just like how they lose these specific games.
I'm gonna go flip side of this. Does it make you optimistic or pessimistic that it's 2-2 and it's been a pretty balanced series so far? And Austin Matthews has been a no-show.
Okay, This is the issue. I now, like after that last night, I have zero faith. Not like 0.5%. Zero faith, boys, that Matthews has any way to impact this series offensively. Like actually zero. I keep hearing all this shit about, oh, look at him playing defense. Look at his 200-foot game. Like the guy makes $13.25 million fucking dollars. And to this point, he's not shown us that he could do that here in the playoffs through 9 years. So now in a season that he has a career low in goals scored, he went to a different continent to get something fixed, and we didn't even know. He was in Germany for like weeks. We didn't even know. This guy's in Germany mid-season. What was the last time you heard of a player leaving and going to a different continent?
Like a Toronto Maple Leaf, too. That's
the captain of the team.
Usually Steve Simmons is in the back of the same plane. Like, oh, this motherfucker, I got you down. Hey, did you have COVID, by the way? Jesus Christ.
Good point.
Now, you mentioned that, the captain, though.
Yeah.
Do the Maple Leafs just have to never have a captain again?
Seriously.
Like, Tavares looks, I mean, granted, there's been times where he hasn't looked as good, but like this season has been resurgent for him. Matthews hasn't been awesome. Do you just have like 4 A's instead?
Kids it to like, Willie.
I was gonna say the same
Willie's
thing.
give a fuck meter is like negative 75, and he's the one
point.
guy. It's the way that the script has flipped, where it's just like 5 years ago, it was Willie's just soft. Like he's not gonna be able to handle. He's gonna be a big guy in the playoffs. And like since that year that he missed the first however many games, signed that contract, he's the one motherfucker that's been like worth every fucking penny they've given him, postseason 100%. And regular season. Like that guy doesn't give a fuck. And like Kachuk's like, I'm gonna break your neck next game, and Willie's like, all right, whatever. I don't really care. Like he will not give a fuck about that at all. Like he's going to produce. Like it's just what he does. It's insane.
That's the one thing I thought was funny. I guess you agree. I just like I saw him going at them. Kachuk, going at the Leafs bench, and then I didn't know who it was that he was yelling at, and then they're like, he's yelling at Nylander, like, I'm gonna get you. I was like, of all the guys you could have picked, that was the one that it matters the absolute least. Like Leafs fans today, some people don't get me started on which ones they're having like I can't believe this guy's yelling, he's gonna get him. Shut the fuck up. It's playoff hockey. This is what happens. I was just looking at it like that's the guy you want him yelling at, because Nylander is literally looking at that and just being like, okay, and
catch me. You literally can't even fucking like you literally will not be able to catch me. Like it's
like
fine.
If that was Marner or Matthews, I would be probably being like, series over. Like you might, for those guys at least, like you might as well not even dress them next game. You're gonna see every time Marner's on the ice, he's looking over his shoulder. It's like, where is this guy? Willie, it does not matter. Like that was the guy. If you're a Leafs fan, where it's just like, okay, oh, you got them going, and he's calling out Nylander. Like that guy doesn't give a shit. And Matthew Nyes, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen the clip from today. He's like leaning over Nylander's back, being like, come through me. He was
literally like salivating, dude. He was just like, I will murder you. Well, I was like, holy
shit,
this guy is a sick puppy, dude. Oh my God.
I love him so much. Now, you've commented on the social medias.
Yeah.
Is Marner gone? Like, is there any number that you will be content with him returning, or are you just like, I don't want him?
Sub 12.
So
But
yeah, you don't want him back.
No, and he's not going to take that. My honest thing, and it's hard to do because it's a little bit different. I get it, especially like, look, I don't want to do the state taxing, but it is a little bit different because of that. Like the Rantanen number is slightly different than what it is here, so I do understand that. But I would legit just be like, if he comes to you with anything over that, I would just like hold Mikko Rantanen's playoff stats and just be like, oh, like this is what you're saying. This is what you want to be paid for. Like, this is what you do. Oh, okay. Never mind. Like, here's your numbers. 0 shots on goal in the last 2 games.
That to me specifically. I was like, that can't be correct. And then I was like, you know what? It feels right now that I think about it. Jesus Christ.
I don't know, man. I would honestly just be like, it's Max Mikko, and if you want more money, which he can get and he will get, someone's gonna pay it. I'd just be like, okay, like go get that money then. Enjoy it. That's best of luck to you.
Yeah, it feels it is the thing with him though too. You just know wherever he ends up next, I'm sure then the playoff numbers will be fucking like.
Yeah.
It just feels like wherever it's just like I don't know what it is about the Toronto. I mean, it's a ridiculously hard market to play in, obviously, but like especially as a fucking Toronto kid who's like a skilled, less than 6 foot tall winger who doesn't like throw 10 hits a game. It's like you better be fucking 3 points a game in the playoffs, or they will roast you. Like it is insane there. I just have a funny feeling if he ends up like in a quieter market, which is like, I don't know, 31 other markets are quieter. Like it just feels like wherever that is, like it feels like his playoff numbers will probably jump. But like specifically on game 4, though, it did feel obviously like deflating if you're Toronto, just the way that the game went. But it had like part of it had to have been giving up, like going shorthanded 4 times in the first was it the first period? They had 4 penalties. Like you just cannot get anything going if you're spending almost half the period on the PK. And I mean, like, I think only one of them ended up in that first Florida goal. I think it was like the last fucking
the
Ekman
OEL
that he threw over the glass. Yeah. It like that was the thing. It was just like they can't even get started here. And once you go down 1-0 in Florida against that team, like all they do is play north-south, and like they're gonna hit everything that moves. I don't even know how the Rodriguez thing happened, because it's like, wait, did he get hit in the face? Like I can't even like he was like he didn't come back in the game. I was like, what happened to him? It's so confusing. But it just felt like they just never got going, and then Florida is just starting to feel it, which is terrifying for anyone. But that definitely did not help, like starting in a hole like that. I gotta think.
Well, and the other thing with those penalties too, that like again, I get why, like a lot of times I get why people get so pissed off at Leafs fans. Like I'm seeing these people online saying like, we lost the game because of the refs. Like, come on. Those 4 penalties were deserved. I mean, you look at the Domi one, it was a clear high stick. You got to be more careful with your stick there. He goes to one hand like windmill over Kachuk's head, smokes him in the visor 20 feet from the ref. Like, well, that's going to be a penalty. Then the second one was the McMahon one, which was the only one. And like the way I was trying to word it last night, like when I was doing the post game, is like, I don't disagree that it was a penalty, but I could have seen an argument on either side. And part of it was because it came like just over a minute and a half after Marchand like obliterated Tanev in the open ice. And in my mind, like I wasn't on the couch yelling like that's a penalty. But in my mind, when the McMahon one happened, I was kind of like, it felt like you kind of just set the precedent that like that play was not bad. So then I was like, I could have seen that one not being called. I was kind of like pissed, like just being like, okay, I don't know where the officiating is going to go from here kind of thing, but whatever. Like it is a penalty. It is what it is. And then the Nyes one, stick in the hands. It's a hooking penalty. Bang, you're going to the box. OEL, you shoot the puck over the glass. It's a penalty. Like you don't have anything to complain about here. You just did stupid shit to open this game. And on top of that, like you were chasing the game already, even though you weren't down yet. Like that the Panthers were already bringing it to you. And rather than having that pushback that you had in the past couple of games where it was like, you punch us, we'll punch you. They were just like, we can't catch you right now. And we are backs against the wall. 5 minutes into the game. Like that was how they started, and that was deflating as well. I was sitting there watching, being like, if they don't get the first one, this thing could be lights out, because exactly what you guys have outlined here. Like Florida basically was just like, up one, north, south, you're not getting anything. We are going to put you through the glass.
What's the difference maker going into game 5? Like if Toronto comes out and takes over that game, why will that happen?
Drastically better play from the bottom 6. They got thumped in the minutes that they played. And like, I don't think that the bottom 6 has the ability to beat them, like win the minutes against the Marchand line. Let's put it that way. But you can't get your teeth kicked the way that you did in the last game. And in game 3, you could start to see it elevate a little bit more in that one there as well. So like, you got to try to negate that a little bit. Like, you're not going to win them. They are just better than you, but you gotta cool that down. The Domi, McMahon, Holmberg line, they have been atrocious. Like, there's no other way to put it. They're borderline unplayable. Not even just one guy, just the combination of the 3 of them. You can't put them. Berube has tried to put McMahon in different spots up and down the lineup on power plays. Like, it's not working. He can't find it. He can't figure it out. Domi is trying to impact games, and then you see him going and parading to the box and getting fined for these hits on Barkov, like just shit like that. They just can't find their way to get anything going. I don't know. I suspect Nick Robertson probably comes back here. Wouldn't be surprised if David Kampf, but to me, like, the first thing is the bottom 6 being a lot better. I think that changes a lot, because it kind of just alleviates pressure throughout the rest of the lineup. And in games 1 and 2, they were a lot better than what you saw in games 3 and 4, where there was a steep drop off. So that's where I start. The other thing would be ideally above 900 save percentage from your goaltender, who he played unbelievable last night, but in game 3, like, if he's a little bit better, you probably win that game. And I'm not going to blame the game on him, because there was some dumb shit that the Leafs did in that one to cause that, but just like a little bit better, and you probably win that one, or just at least have a better shot. So those are kind of like the big things. Obviously, the big boys are the big conversation, but I think for me, that's where it starts.
I think that's fair.
And have they like stuck with that like 5-forward power play unit like consistently the whole season? Like, I mean, we talk about it in Minnesota. It drives us fucking crazy, especially when they refuse to play Zeke Buoy with the playoffs, because you just can't play a young defenseman. And we don't fucking know why, but it is what it is. Because like, I mean, it does make. Looking at it, I feel like if they were even to bother switching, they're gonna fucking go with Morgan Riley at the top. And I was like, just OEL, just go with. I feel like OEL's probably a better option. He gets shots through, like he can do that. He's did it in fucking Florida last year. But they've stuck with that 5-forward unit pretty much consistently here, right?
Yeah. So the first couple months they had Morgan Riley on it, and it was really bad to start. So then they made the switch, and then like they had Nyes go out there. They had Marner go to the top of it, and then they pretty much have stuck to that since. There was game 1, I want to say, of this series. I think they were 0 for 5 on the power play in game 1, which just goes unnoticed because they played so well elsewhere in the game. They switched for, I think, like two of the 5 power plays, Morgan Riley to the top of that unit, and it wasn't injury based, and then they abandoned it and went back. It's the wrong guy. You're 100% right. It's OEL who's got to be there. He's just more of a threat from the point than what Morgan Riley is. I think Morgan Riley telegraphs things way too much. It's just frustrating because it's a very predictable power play. And when Morgan Riley goes out there to change anything, it's just the exact same. Like, he goes out there, he won't shoot the puck. If he does, it's not like he's got some bomb that he's firing away, and it's like, oh man, we can't let this guy shoot. Like, the penalty kill doesn't have to be like respecting that too much, that shot to come in and be a threat from the point. So they can play it a little bit different, because Marner's shot front through, not dangerous. Morgan Riley's not dangerous. And then you look at those guys, and if you get any type of offensive opportunity, or like any type of transition game going the other way, you might be able to capitalize on these guys. And it has been a dagger. There were 2 shorthanded goals scored in that series against the Senators. Like, they were able to capitalize on some big moments. I would have OEL out there. I trust him more defensively. I think he'd probably be better running that power play. Like, Morgan Rielly hasn't even been that great offensively this season. I mean, he's got 4 goals in the playoffs, but even with that, it's not like I think he's been like some dominant offensive force. Yeah, it would be Ekman Larson to me that should go up there.
Well, and I'm going to take KJ's question from the chat, and I'm going to spin it a little bit, which we could go on forever about who has the bigger baggage, Leafs or Wild fans. Who is more perplexed by Z's favorite astronaut apparently being good at hockey again out in Edmonton? And sorry, the backstory to that is pretty much any time we ever talked about John Klingberg, it's about how he's just in outer space and has no fucking clue where he is on the ice.
Okay. I love when he floats off, literally the play is going this way and Klingberg's like gliding the other way. He's like, oh shit. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
He does have a little bit of the one of my good buddies when I was growing up had this, where you look at him and you're like, you're there, but you're not really there. Sometimes I look at Klingberg on the ice, I'm like, holy shit, that guy's in the NHL. You just look and there's nothing going on. I'm like, oh, all
there
right.
were a few games in Minnesota where it was just like, what planet are you on, dude? Oh my god, dude. What a bag he gave up. Jesus Christ. That guy just decided not to make 50 sheets. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking, yeah, that's a whole other, we could probably do a whole fucking history of John Klingberg episode, dude. It's kind of very fun for us, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Keeping it somewhat Minnesota based. I mean, how's Rosie feeling though? Shout out. He's a 1 year at Duluth, by the way. How's he feeling overall? I saw you got him out live for one of your post games, dude.
Yeah, he was here for games 1 and 2. He got to go to the alumni box. Last night, he actually gave me shit on the post game, and he's usually pretty quick to be like, these guys are like soft as shit and get on.
I will never forget the game
4 last year.
Oh my god. That was the one show I was like, I have to fucking watch every single one of these. This is unbelievable. Like, I think he had the wine going. I was like, he might have put down 3 bottles, just so angry at Mitch Marner. I was like, this guy's fucking unhinged.
Dude, he comes on and I can see him in the waiting room, right? And I see him like seething. And I'm like, oh shit, let's get to this guy right away. I bring him on and I basically just immediately was like, what'd you make of tonight's game? And he just went off.
Let me tell you. There was one again. I think it was the game 3 or whatever it was last year. It was just like I think he was trying to say 10 different things about Marner. He goes, like, fuck you. It's just like, oh, like, this is the best, dude.
One of the lines that I just never forget, and like I have gone back and watched some of this stuff a few times. He was so good. It's like well known here in Toronto, and I'm sure it is league wide as well, like how the influence that his family, let's put it that way, has on decisions that are made and contracts, et cetera, et cetera. Rosie gets pissed off about that stuff. And in that post-game rant, he's like, these guys think they're so special and like they deserve all this shit. And he goes, who made you feel that way? Your daddy. And just goes nuts. And I start laughing. And I was pissed. Like, don't get me wrong, I was pissed. And then that line came out, and then I just could not stop laughing. And I'm like, I pulled myself off the screen. I got my hand covering my face because he can still see me. I'm just trying not to like visibly laugh. And then I would just come back on and just like throw back to him. And then he would just go off about something else. It's still like, there's people who just like have seen me out. Like, I really don't get like recognized and stuff. Like, but people will see me and just be like, you're the guy from that video of the guy going nuts about Marner. I'm like, Yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
I was the other
I
guy
am.
in the small
Yeah.
box, and then,
Yeah.
yes, I was also there. Yep, I was there. I was present for that one.
That was me.
God, he's such a beauty.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah.
So 2 things we got to hit on before you go. And like, if you're available, you can stay as long as you want, man, but I'm sure you got other shit to do.
Yeah.
First one is like, there's a lot of good bits you guys have running on the sheet, but is there / will there ever be a better one than Ace here?
No, that is honestly so good. And the fact that Wyshynski is going like above and beyond right now to do like investigative journalism to find out why his name became that. He like I don't know if you saw the other day, he came to the show on Sunday and was like, I talked to like this person, and this person, and these are the stories I've pieced together from like parts of his career. I mean, he basically came to the conclusion that like he called himself Ace.
Well, I love the evolution
That's
though
the
of the like. Well, it was AC, but no one called him Ace. But then they shortened it to Ace. But then you go like hockey lingo, and you have to add the Y at the end. So it went from AC to Ace to AC, but it's now ACEY. Like,
Yeah.
it's incredible. But like, I messaged Wyshynski right away. I'm like, dude, I've wondered this same
So
thing
good.
forever. Thank you so fucking much. Like,
Did you guys, by the way, see him ask Marchand last night, or not ask, talk to him last night? Because it was Marchand's birthday yesterday. Did you guys see that?
I didn't.
When he was like, someone's getting fired.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Wow.
I only saw the part
no,
of
it's just the Liam started was like first ever time playing on your birthday. And Marshall was like, I think I played my birthday before, so I don't know who's giving you the research.
Oh.
Someone's getting fired. I looked it up, but he's never played his birthday, by the way. Just so
Okay.
I did look
Yeah, I
it
didn't know.
up. It's my
That is such a
investigative
Marchand
journalism.
response. So like, with no backing, like, no, I definitely have. Fuck you.
Yeah.
He goes, Anson Carter opens it by saying to Marchand, he's like, hey, happy birthday, it's Ace. And Marchand like kind of snickers.
You know, there has to have been at least one guy in the league who they talked to for the TNT thing who was just like, he goes, Ace here. He's like, who the fuck? Who's Ace?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a bit, at least one player who's like, who the fuck am I talking to?
You know what, though?
Yeah.
I bet
I
a
don't know
couple
who
of them
you
are
are.
like, as long as it's not Biz, cool.
Yeah.
That McKinnon one.
Hey,
The McKinnon
cool,
one
ask
was
Whatever
great.
you want, dude.
McKinnon
Dude, we
being
lost
like, I don't know,
6-2.
bro. We lost, so it's not that funny. It was like that fucking rule.
Yeah. So good. McKinnon.
How do you
is the
feel
type of
about
guy
Biz
that I
being an
love about
ambassador
that.
of your team?
Whatever. I really don't.
That's
I
the
mean,
correct
it's,
answer.
yeah, I really don't care. Like, it's just, it's one of those things. Like, it's kind of funny that he's like so. Okay, one of the reasons I find it so funny is because in Canada here, the coverage we get on Sportsnet and TSN, like they call TSN the Toronto Sports Network.
Toronto Sports Network, yeah.
And then like a lot of it that kills me about it is like, where do you live? Oh, Toronto. And what team are you looking for coverage of? Oh, like some, Western, I don't know. You're looking for like the Winnipeg Jets coverage. I'm like, you live in Toronto. They put Toronto programming on certain channels. You're probably watching those channels. Like if you go, there's Sportsnet East, Sportsnet West, Sportsnet Center. Like you can watch other fucking shows. You can watch other shit. So it's like, that's the first thing where I'm like, dude, you live in Toronto. You're watching Toronto TV. Like you can't be complaining here. But then people like outright complain about it. The only thing that I ever get annoyed with is like, the Leafs don't really actually have a home broadcast other than when TSN does Leafs games. They literally do like the Leafs show. They do Leafs pregame, Leafs like intermissions, Leafs postgame. Sportsnet just won't do it. They just do like national coverage. And so like, that's what I think Leafs fans sometimes lose out on. It's not like Leafs fans don't get enough coverage. Like I'm not trying to say that, but they just don't get that like home broadcast type of coverage. Like Bruins fans with fucking Jack Edwards kind of shit. Like they don't never get that. So people get mad about that. I at least have an appreciation that someone is just outwardly like, I'm a Leafs fan. I love the Leafs. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous. I get it. I don't really care personally, but I just think it's funny that someone is just outwardly on TV wearing an ambassador jacket. He never even played for the team.
That was what was so funny when they asked Madonna. They
He
asked
was
Madonna,
claimed.
they were like, have you ever known a guy to be an ambassador for a team who's never played for the team? Madonna was like, no, who are you talking about? They're like, fucking Biz. And he was like, oh shit. He's like, no, they were one of the 3 teams that put a claim in for me. Like,
He was like, I
that's the
know there's a
funniest
trick
reason.
question here, but I don't get it.
Yeah, like, dude, not minor team, not even like coast for the organization, like nothing. And he's an ambassador, so and whatever. It's also kind of funny by the organization to be like, yeah, this guy's an ambassador just because he's just like a nut job on TV that's like screaming for the Leafs.
Gets you
Good
touched.
play by them, like very smart play by them. So I don't know. I at least have an appreciation for that.
You got to make it, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing we got to ask your opinion on, because like we're going to talk about it pretty much every episode until a trade actually comes to fruition. And Cameron Myers, our boy, shout out for the contribution, buddy. We'll get into like the Tage Thompson of things, but what is the outsider's view on Marco Rossi? Like, is this a player that you want on your team? Like, what do you see his value being if you're a team that's trying to acquire him, whether or not it's the Leafs?
So I am honestly kind of confused why Guerin. I don't know. You guys tell me. Like, is it just because of the money that he wants and they don't see that as the fit here, or
I think
like?
there's a lot more to it. Bill Guerin drafted a 5'9" player and was hoping that he would stop being a 5'9" player.
Okay.
The money
Yeah,
matters too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I think he's a good player. I think there's promise there. I just was like very confused about the whole. I don't know the word, conflict, I guess maybe the way to put it. Like, I just confused like about how this kind of arose. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's kind of the guys that you want there, the types of players that you want there surrounding other pieces that you have that you're trying to build around. Now you're going to go into this period where you have salary cap opening up with the cap going up. You can go out and spend other pieces. Like, don't you want these younger guys here that are homegrown products? Like, I mean, there is value in terms of like what specifically you'd be able to get. I genuinely don't know. Like, I couldn't even begin to sit here and tell you guys what that would be, because this is one of those ones where like I could honestly see in the summer seeing like a Hall come back and be like a Hall as in like a big trade package, not Taylor Hall, and being like, oh wow, okay, like sure. Or I could see like pennies on the dollar and being like, yeah, I guess so. Like, it's like, I don't know. That's a shit answer. And I guess that's going to sound super generic, but like, that's kind of the way I view like the Rossi thing. Like, genuinely, if I saw like a Bob McKenzie tweet come out and be like, Marco Rossi's on the move, and it's like this big trade, it'd kind of be like, okay, yeah.
Adam Larson,
tiny,
1 for 1.
like, no, yeah, like it's one of those weird ones to me where I could see it kind of swinging either way, where someone overvalues him like crazy, or like Guerin just really can't find anything for it.
Well, let me do my best Ryan Whitney impression then to play off that Madonna interview. If you're a franchise that has never really been able to develop a homegrown center outside of, I guess, Mikko Koivu and now Joel Eriksson Ek, which took a while to develop, you got a guy you drafted top 10, has a career year, is basically the only reason you made the playoffs with the injuries you had. You have to trade that player, right? Like,
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm going to die. This is going to kill me. Like, I'm literally dying as we speak.
We're very perplexed too. Trust me. It's you're not the only one, man.
I don't even know. Like, I'm honestly like, I'm pulling up stuff here too, because I was just trying to like I don't even 40 points in his first full season, 60 points this year.
And you probably don't even know this backstory, but they famously not made, but we'll just say made him stay here for the entire summer, the summer that his sister was getting married. And he's like, yep, I'm in. And now they're like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. That's it. Like, I was listening to Morning Cup of Hockey, I think it was, when they were talking about that situation. And that was the first time that I had heard about that. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange thing to ask a guy to do, but all right. But Look, I don't know. This is one of those ones where it just feels like maybe like there's just a they're just it's just like a rift. Like it's like something where they just can't get over it kind of thing. Because
They won't.
This to me is the kind of player that I would want like to keep around. It's honestly this is the guy that I keep seeing the trade stuff, and I saw the title of the show like when I was jumping in here. I'm like, I know that you guys are like anticipating this, and I completely understand why. I just don't get it from the Minnesota side of things, like why they're so eager to move on from him. I don't. I really don't, boys.
That makes three of us.
I don't know.
That makes three of us. And to Cameron's point, do you think Tage Thompson is a guy that's going to be on the move from Buffalo, or is he like the one guy that has absolutely no chance of, him and Dahlin?
I think him and Dahlin, unless they ask out, are not going anywhere. Like, Buffalo does some really stupid shit.
No.
If they did that, it would be like, shut it down, move them to Atlanta. Like,
especially if it involved Rossi, where like this is an organization that is overloaded with small, skilled players that all fit the same prototype. You're gonna do that?
The city of Buffalo would be outside of KeyBank.
They're there now. Like they're all fucking.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let me in the fucking building right now. Fucking like making his phone. Now. Fucking Jesus Christ.
I can't see Thompson being on the move. Can't see Dahlin. That said, what I will say is Biz had that comment 2 months ago. I guess 2 months ago now. Remember he's talking about Dahlin and the meeting that Dahlin had with the management there and kind of saying like if this doesn't get better. I don't think Biz was really that far off. I don't think he asked for a trade. I don't think that that's happened. I think we would know that if he did ask for a trade or like said we're at the breaking point. I think we would know that. I don't think Biz is that far off from what he said. I do get the feeling that Rasmus Dahlin had some talks with them, effectively like, what's the direction? What's the plan? Like, let's start winning because people, i.e. myself, are getting antsy. And I kind of get that impression that was a conversation that was had with Rasmus Dahlin and the management of Buffalo.
And management's like leaning over to each other like, what's this guy's fucking problem?
Yeah,
like, it's just so crazy to me for Buffalo. It's like the fact that like they have literally been in the same exact spot since they first missed the playoffs, like however many years ago. Was that 2011 was the last time they made it, maybe? I don't even remember. But like at no point have they've done the thing where like 4 years in a row they won like 12 games in a row in November and then lost 400 in a row. Like it's like they've just done the same shit. Like Montreal was a playoff team, was one of the worst teams on the planet, and then they made the playoffs again, all before Buffalo's made any progress whatsoever. Like I don't get it, and I really, I'm fine with it because we're in the Atlantic here, but at the same time, I do want them to get back to like playoff hockey because the Toronto Buffalo games used to be so fucking electric. And like that fan base is nuts. Obviously, Toronto fan base is nuts. And like it makes me sad. I mean, like Toronto fans do this everywhere, but like it makes me sad when it's like there's thousands of more Leafs fans at KeyBank fucking over like the Sabres fans. But like that rivalry used to be so fucking fun. And I mean, I don't know, that fan base just deserves literally anything. But like they've stayed shit for 15 years. Like it's crazy. I don't get it. Like they've gone nowhere.
Yeah, and I think the most frustrating part of the whole situation with Buffalo would probably honestly also be like let's just say they just hit or they swung and missed and didn't hit on guys. Then you're sitting there like, man, like our scouting staff are like we can't find the right players, like bad luck. I don't know, whatever you want to put it. Jack Eichel, Ryan O'Reilly, Sam Reinhart, always heat up in March and just fuck up any chance fire pick. That's also something that they do. Yeah. But it's like they had these guys come through there. Olofsson, who's that now they're in Vegas. Like you look at all these players that Montour was
There's
there
way
in
more.
Buffalo. You go through the list of guys who have either gone on and won a cup with other teams or been top end talent with other teams, whatever, just had success elsewhere, whatever it may be. Like, they just bring these guys in and just either fuck up development or ship them out at the wrong time or under or overvalue guys that come through the organization and expect something that it's not, and then just mishandle all these assets. And it's like, you have to be sitting there as a Sabres fan, just looking and being like, if this has lasted this long and we've gone through however many GMs and coaches and scouts and throughout the list, there's one common denominator here throughout all of this that would probably just be driving these people nuts, which is Terry Pegula right at the top of it. And then you're sitting there watching that and you're like, this guy sucks as an owner. And then those same people are also like, wow, the Buffalo Bills fucking awesome. It's like, shit, like, what the hell?
It's like you have two kids and the one turns out to be really good at sports. You're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about my second kid. Like,
that kid's
it is crazy,
and we're not going to worry. They don't have to do it. They don't have to go to do sports. And we're not going to worry about them. And then everyone's like, hey man, like, maybe pay attention to the kid. They're running in traffic.
He got arrested last night. He got arrested last night. Dude. You should probably check on that motherfucker.
Pauline could make for a hell of a linebacker for the Bills.
Yeah,
for the Sabres. And
Terry's
we're going to talk about like choosing between two kids. This one from our boy Sean Cosgrove. There are 3 teams in the NYC area, which I think that's a stretch, but we'll go with it. 2 in the LA area. Why is there only 1 in Toronto? Like, people talk about it every year, and it's going to continue to be talked about. I think Merrick's actually one of the people that talks about it the most. Do you think that 2 teams in Toronto would be a positive or a negative, being someone that cheers for the Leafs and lives in the area?
I just think, I look at it this way. I don't think the Leafs would. I don't know how, like, I don't know how much say, I guess, is the first place we got to go that they would have in this. But then I also look at it and I'm like, if Gary comes to them and he's like, we want to put another team here at this point in the NHL and like how long it's been around and how long Toronto's been here, I could just see Toronto just being like, do you know how much money like we make? I like, even if we're like, it's just the league, TV deals in Canada, whatever you want to put it, like, not even trying to be arrogant about it, but it's factual. Like, they just make a outrageous amount of money. I'd love Marner to end up. that would be my worst nightmare. You guys would never see me again.
But see, Toronto, like, Leafs fans would actually love that, because then they could shit on him even harder.
Yeah, because you'd be in the backyard and you could go nuts on them. But I just feel like they would just be, the MLSE would just kind of turn to them and be like, really? Like, you know how much money we make you? And then you're just going to like split this or try to split this between the two. The other thing, which is a good point that Merrick had brought up, I can't remember if he said it on the show or just him and I were talking about it, but like, if a new team gets added in Canada, whether it's expansion or whatever, how many new Canadian or how many new hockey fans do you think are generated from a new team being put in Canada?
My argument to that is going to be what we've actually had fans comment on our show before when we talk about this. You're going to name the team the Toronto Blue Collars, and it's for the people that can't afford to go to a Toronto Maple Leafs game. Like, straight up. Like, how many people in Ontario are Leafs fans and will never go to a game because they cannot afford it?
Okay, that's fair. The other thing would be, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the geography in Canada. The team would probably have to go to
me right now, actually. So
yes, correct. I am. Yes, that is true. But the team would probably have to go to like Hamilton,
sure,
which is like,
I don't know, dude, this is gonna be straight up New York Giants,
like
New York
lesser,
Jets.
Yeah, it's like a lesser Buffalo.
Share the rink.
Right. Share the rink. That would go over well. Oh, fuck. That would go over well. The ticket prices would definitely be able to go lower because the arena would be full every night, but I mean, it's already busy enough, so
Right.
shouldn't have to. God, share the rink. Holy fuck.
That'd be
People
so
would
bad.
lose their minds.
Imagine
Like,
too,
you'll
the
not
new
take
Toronto
anybody
team
really
winning
who's
first.
a Leafs fan. Like, you're not going to take people who are diehard Leafs fans, and they're not going to become a fan of this new team, really. Like, you're going to get fair weathers, but the problem with that is that they're not going to go to the new team most likely. Like, your conversion rate on them from fair weather to diehard is probably going to be pretty low. So you're not going to take a diehard Leafs fan and just convert them over. Like, my dad's texting me last night during the game. Mind you, it's 2-2 series. My dad is texting me being like, fucking clowns, it's over. Turn the game off. Like, series is done. Wrap this shit up on Friday. And it's like, it is 2-2. Like, I'm pissed, but it's 2-2. That guy.
You just give the thumbs up.
This team. Yeah, just like the message. Like, watch me on the post game. See you then. But that guy hates this team. Like, but he will never switch.
But that's the most intense form of love, is that much hate.
Yes, exactly. But he just won't switch. So that's the problem.
I want you to know I take no pleasure in hearing that. It does not. I feel terrible about that. I really.
It seems like it. It's oozing through the screen right now.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Breaking my heart. Getting somewhat back on track. We already talked about the changes for Toronto to get. Yeah. I mean, I almost said like get back in the series. It's fucking 2-2, like you just said. But like, I mean, I'm not gonna mention the fucking Game 5 record for this fucking hockey team, but like,
it'd be horrible if we mentioned that.
How do you see these? Like, I feel like the first 5-10 minutes of this Game 5 is either gonna be like chess or it's gonna be chaos, north south from both. Like, I mean, you need anything from Marner and Matthews, obviously.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like Kachuk's gonna try to go after someone because it's just whatever. It's what he does. Same thing with, like, I'm sure Bennett, Marchand, whoever. But like, how do you see the first 10 minutes of Game 5 going? And I mean, how confident are you at all that they can like turn the vibes around, really? Because again, it's 2-2. Because like literally the commentary, you would think it's 3-1 Florida going into Game 5 right
now. I know you would. I think that I do kind of expect a chaos, but like I would say a controlled chaos. Like putting in as chess is like a good way to put it, because like I would say that that's probably what I see out of like Carolina, Washington, is it does feel like that chess match where you're going back and forth. This one, I do anticipate chaos because I feel like that's the game that Florida wants to play, and they're going to try to bring the Leafs back into where they're going to be like, we're going to go haywire on you here. Like, how do you handle it? How do you respond? Can you handle it? The thing that I think is going to be interesting is I think Nylander's gonna have a good game here, because I think he's a guy that knows that the importance of this one. He doesn't score an OT on the breakaway. He cost them on that Bennett goal that gets scored the second goal of the game. He makes a bad play in the neutral zone, gets turned over. Like, people think that guy doesn't care. He's very calculated with that stuff, where like he knows like that cost us a goal, that play that I made, and he's gonna know I owe the boys one. Like, I know the team one. So like him, Nyes, the matchup game that you're going to get from Berube here as well is also going to be interesting, how he puts those bottom six guys out and starts to use them to try to take advantage. But I do expect chaos. This 10 minutes to open this game, I think, is probably the most important 10 minutes of the season, because this is doom and gloom to say, but like, I think you guys will agree. You lose this one, it's done. I'm dead serious. Even if you win game 6 and you push it to 7, I feel like a coin flip situation, Bob, all that shit. It's the cards are stacked against you in that. If you at least win this one and maybe it goes to 7, maybe you go in with some more positive vibes, but it just feels like if it goes the other way, like you're not, I don't know. It just feels like you're just fighting an uphill battle at that point. And this first 10 minutes, how you come out. Like, are you, even if it's 0-0, was your back against the wall the whole time? Were you just trying to stay alive? Were you trying to get out of the 10 minutes? Were you going blow for blow? Did you carry the play? Like, how that happens is going to be very indicative of how the rest of the game goes, because this is a Leafs team that years past, if they come out and they try to weather the storm for the first 10, that's how the game's going to go for the next 50. Like, unfortunately, that's just where it's been at. So, I mean, I expect some chaos, though, to start the game. I don't think it's going to be like suspension, kind of like go nuts territory, but I do expect it to be really, really aggressive.
Yeah, no shots to the numbers on Barkov. That's for sure. You've been on with us for way longer than you needed to, and we very much appreciate it. Are there any other series that you want to talk about, or you got a jet? Wherever you want us to go.
I'll do one more, and then I gotta go because we have all of our reporting that we have pump in on Monday night, so got to get back to that after. But the last one, what do you guys make of this Oilers series right now? Because
honestly, I think it's way more fun. Like, and this isn't disrespect to the Leafs Florida series, but like the chaos of the Edmonton Vegas one might be more fun for me.
Well, and like maybe it also feels that it gets turned up a notch because we watch Carolina, Washington, which I do also appreciate that hockey, but you know, it's tame relative. And then you go from that into Edmonton, Vegas, and it's like you've just shot up on heroin to watch the 9 p.m., 10 p.m. game. You're just sitting there like, this is fucking unbelievable. Like, I don't know. It's nuts. I am not a Stuart Skinner believer at all. Some of the guys that I used to work with, like last year and years past, one of the guys is like a big goalie, like analytics, like kind of guy. And he was telling me, he's like, I still have faith in Stuart Skinner. I'm like, bro, I don't know what numbers you're looking at, but just straight up, I think this guy fucking sucks. So I can't believe that they're going to have to battle through this. I heard Calvin Pickard was going to be like maybe a week here until he could come back. Oh, that's some scary shit if I'm an Oilers fan. And yet at the same time, it's like they just have McDavid and Draisaitl and Corey Perry, who seems to have turned back the clock 15 years. So like, does it even matter? Because what are we doing? And then all of a sudden, 0.4 seconds left, Leon Draisaitl scores in his own net. Like I every single time I turn on the TV and watch that game, I have no idea what's going to happen. And it's the most electric shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, I need to know what his best friend in media asked him after that game. Oh my goodness. Jim Matheson is probably like, why are you so pissy, Leon? No, honestly, the Stuart Skinner thing for me is more, he'll be back, hopefully. Skinner, for me, his ceiling is a good goalie. I'm never going to trust that I'll see the ceiling in a given game, if that makes sense, right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't trust the consistency, which is terrifying. But for me, is Corey Perry now officially stamped as the best player from the best draft class in NHL history, being the 03 class? Like, this is insane what he's doing on the verge of turning 40. And like, it's not just that he's still like producing, it's that he completely transformed his game and now continues to be like a Stanley Cup mercenary. I think it's impressive as hell, and everyone hates him. He's the worm, whatever. I get it. I respect the hell out of like what that guy has done to transition from a steady 50-goal scorer to I'm just going to be a rat and I'm going to find a way to bite and claw my way into shit.
Best player, and I'd say no. I'm looking at the list of the other guys here, just trying to like Bergeron better than Corey Perry.
Thank you.
Z is going to save that clip forever.
That one's not too hard to me. The other ones are like, there's probably some debatable ones. And then I guess based on longevity. But look, I will say what he's doing. He went from a guy that people were like, we got to get this guy at the deadline to play in your bottom six. And he's a veteran and he's been here, to like lethal top six on a legit Stanley Cup contending team. I think a lot of it is the guys that he's playing with and the opportunities that come up from that here, obviously. That said, the hockey IQ and the work and commitment that's got to go with it to be able to like keep up and compete at that level to this point. Fuck, man, unbelievable job like by Corey Perry to be this competitive, this good, this reliable, this late into his career. But it is insane because like we got to be honest about it though. He's not been doing this for like the last few years, really. Like he's a really good player, like in other situations or other spots in your lineup, but not this.
How many times has he played with McDavid and Draisaitl?
Yeah, well, that's good
like this
point.
is straight up the one famous shift of Paul Bissonnette where he played with Malkin and Crosby for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Except he's doing it game after game
in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. It is nuts. Good for him, man. The longevity too, just to be able to do it this late. It's impressive stuff. It's really impressive stuff.
Yeah, but Z, I mean the series.
Like, I don't get it. I don't
up, like. I think I shared the Blue Mountain State Thad Castle cocaine gif is the perfect way to describe what this is.
I don't understand how, like, every conventional theory as far as just like how you have to play playoff hockey, how much structure you have to have. Edmonton's like, yeah. What if we just don't do any of that? We're gonna lose Ekholm too. Bouchard's gonna forget that he's a defenseman for half the game, and then he's gonna score like 4 points the other half of the game. Klingberg's
gonna remember that he's a defenseman.
Like our goaltenders are like barely like replacement level. Like, but you know what? We have McJesus over here who's just like all he really needs to do is take over for 12 minutes and you've got 6 goals right there. Again, we don't have that Colm, which the fact that they're winning any playoff games without him. By the way, they should have got swept in the first round. Like LA, Jim Hiller. I mean, Hiller. I don't.
That challenge.
Oh my God! And I mean, they're like, well, hey, we're up, going into the third period, guys. I know what to do. We're not gonna go past the red line. We're just gonna hang out. We're gonna let fucking McJesus, Draisaitl fly 7 million miles an hour down the ice and attack us nonstop. And we're gonna give up 34 shots in between the third period and overtime. And we're like 4 shot attempts total. We got this in the bag. And here they are. They fucking take those first 2 against Vegas. And I'm like, I don't know. This doesn't make sense to me. Like, it shouldn't work. But I guess that's just like when you have a human cheat code. I guess that I mean, you can do whatever you want. But the fact that, again, no Ekholm, those 2 goalies that they're using, and they're a fucking 2-1 of this series. Like, it shouldn't work. It does. I haven't decided if I hate it or if I love it. Because it feels unfair, and I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I'm pretty sure at one point in the series, Hyman scored from like beyond 6 feet, which I didn't know he was allowed to do that, but he did. So like everything they're doing is breaking my brain. Yeah, they're like, hey, what are you fucking doing?
Invisible fence.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't get it. They're like, oh shit, we forgot to turn on the electric fence. That's he's looking. They just don't make sense to me, and I can't tell if I want them to like. I don't know if I want it to work or not, but it is working. It's very fun to watch at times, but it's like, well, why the fuck are we like GMs even bothering trying to build like a real hockey team? Just fucking go 0-82 and draft the first overall pick 8 years in a row and just do that. It's fine. Who cares?
True. That is the other thing. Like they
and miss on half of your first overall fucking picks, by the way. Like,
which like let's go like alternate reality. You talk about Buffalo and all the great guys have left. McDavid goes to Buffalo.
Yeah.
What happens then?
No, it's Buffalo. He's never played a playoff game.
Well, also like
good trade for Tage Thompson.
You guys are not gonna like this, but like so however the lottery balls work, and I'm not gonna pretend to like actually fully understand, but all I do know is in that year, however the combination of the balls had gone. Basically, the Leafs, if it was one ball, that would have been their pick. Like they had a small chance of it, but like if 1 or 2 of the balls, whatever it was, came, they had those combinations like in their lot like you guys know what I'm saying. Like they in their lottery card, like they had those combos. So there was like 1 or 2 chances or whatever, where if that ball came, like that could have been theirs. And it was like not that far off from what Edmonton's was at that point, just based on the combinations that had come through. Like you're talking about alternate realities, like those are the ones that are just fucking wild, because that's the year too. The Leafs end up drafting Marner, and then the next year, because of that, they end up drafting Matthews. And it's like, that happens. Neither of those guys are here on this team. Very different situations. Look at Buffalo. They're probably making playoffs if it's them who gets them. Like, it's just like...
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah. I think they would have had to trade them.
Got McDavid for Marner. That is the headline.
Deals 1 for 1. And I celebrate naked down the streets of Toronto.
There you go. That's what's the...
We're just
I'm actually gonna again, I didn't say this before. I don't know why I said it again. I actually weirdly believe in Toronto in Game 5 here. Like I actually think Nylander and Nyes are about to just have like career-defining games in here in Game 5, and I actually believe in them, which is a really gross feeling for me. And I'm usually wrong about stuff, so don't put any stock into that.
Well, that makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, no, if I say anything positive, you should be like, okay, well, pack it in, fellas. That's gonna do it for that. But like, again, this team just feels so different to me, even though Game 4 was like incredibly deflating. Just like if you're a Toronto fan, I don't know what it is, but I just have a weird feeling that this is a different Game 5. Which, I mean, how many times I guess have people said that about this team? But
Zach,
I don't like it
to be the case because he wants them to crumble in Game 7.
No, dude, the Bruins missed the playoffs. We were like, hey, we didn't have to, like, we still have the like we can be like, we did our job those years, bro. Like, I don't know what you guys are up to, but fucking, I don't really care. I just want good hockey. I also really want Game 7, but I need an early start from the Leafs because I want that building rocking because it has had different energy. Like that Ottawa series, that building was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
In those first 2 games against Florida, it was so different. I was just like, I am not used to this. This is fun.
The thing that I give the one reason, like the regular season is a different story. Like you should just be loud. Like there's no reason. It's pretty pathetic. The one reason that I give them like some pause when people get on them in the playoffs is I'm like, you know how much trauma like these people are gone through, and sitting there in a 0-0 game late into the second where you're just watching your stars not be able to score. It just feels like deja vu. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I know how this is going to end. And people just get nervous. Like they just get uncomfortable. And like, I get it. It's just, they've just seen this and it's like, this is going to go south. And that's why that happens. I get it. Fans, they should just power through because they're not the ones on the ice. But like, you can tell there's just nervous energy. It's not that the crowd doesn't care or isn't engaged. It's just like very nervous energy. That's the one thing I'll give them.
There.
Yeah. All right, boys. I think I'm gonna head out of here. But I appreciate you guys having me. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Oh, really? No matter how this series goes, you're happy to come back.
I'm happy to face some music. It is what it is. I'm always down to talk hockey. I'm good with that.
Fair enough, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. It's always fun. I say always, as in we've done it twice, but
2 times. No, I'm happy to come back anytime, and I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely, brother.
Awesome. Appreciate it, buddy.
Sounds good. See you, boys. Thank you.